it's Greggatron. This, 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 this. Look at it. Yeah. Yeah. Look at it. This. Yeah. 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 This is what's up? How are y'all? Man, you're not gonna believe what I picked up today. On accident, by the way. Yes. I found all four of these strictly by accident. So, me and my homie, we're planning a birthday party because both of our birthdays are right around the same time. So I say, well, let me go to the place at the mall to make sure I can get some confirmation, and then I'll call you back. He's like, cool. So after I get the birthday stuff figured out, I say, well, let me check out the comic shop. See what's going on down there. So I go in there, and all these were kind of like hidden because they weren't in the inventory system yet. And I saw the sides of the boxes. There was these four and a bunch else just stacked up, like 2 stacks of them. And I'm like, what's up with all this Todd McFarlane, man? What's going on? So I sit down Indian style, start going through them. And I can see the side of the box. I'm like, you have Azrael? And I'm like, kind of loud. And there's like some customers in the store who are looking around like, what the heck? But I was like, you have Azrael? Not only did they have this Azrael, but they had the white version and they had this one. And in case if you don't know, Azrael, aka Jean Paul Valley, some people say it's pronounced Jean Paul Valley. This dude is one of my favorite Batman. Like, outside of Bruce Wayne, this dude, same character right here, he is my favorite Batman outside of Bruce Wayne. More than Nightwing as Batman. Even more so than Thomas Wayne. And I love Thomas Wayne from Earth 2. But when I saw this, I was like, what? Ain't no way. I'm like, I was just baffled. And I'm still baffled even while I speak to you guys. I'm baffled to this day. To this day. So I'm going through these toys, and they had multiple Red Hoods, multiple variants. They had this one from Gotham Knights. He had the unmasked Red Hood, totally different outfit. I think he came with a sword or something. But there was like 4 different variants of Red Hood. At least 3 Azraels. And check this out. The Eradicator? What? And with Todd McFarlane right now, he's making a lot of different variants of these characters. Because, you know, this is the multiverse, right? So he can pretty much just do whatever at this point. And I'm a big fan of The Reign of the Supermen, the book, not the animated movie. But when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh. I knew I shouldn't have came in here. Let me talk about him real quick. I can make a video just telling the story about the dang figures without even talking about the figures. So it looks like there's like stars in his suit. That's just dust. That's how long they were sitting there because they got this delivery. And when he gets these deliveries, he gets tons of them. And he doesn't even know the stuff is coming because the supply chain crisis was all jacked up. Well, that's what makes it a crisis. There was a supply chain crisis during COVID. Remember that? So now it's like all this stuff is just coming in randomly from California and other places. So me and the guy at the comic shop, the owner, we had a good conversation. A dang good conversation. Look at this Azrael, man. What? And some of these been around now for a couple of years. They're just, like I said, just now hitting here. This man comes with a sword that's on fire. Look at the red. Look at the crimson cloths. Look at the belt. Look at the cross. I talked about how he's my favorite Batman outside of Bruce Wayne. Let me explain myself. You all know the story of Nightfall. If you don't know it, look it up. What I liked about him personally, for one, he had the same build as Bruce Wayne, whereas like Nightwing and others were like not as tall or buff looking or whatever. So he looked the part. That was one. Two, I liked him because he was so different in the way that Bruce had that quote unquote moral compass, that code. Whereas, he refuses to kill and all that good stuff. Whereas Jean Paul Valley, no such code existed. He was a member of this cult called Saint Dumas. This is from Curse of the White Knight, by the way. And his morals were totally different from the Batman we all know and love. Right? Curse of the White Knight. Great book. So what I liked about Azrael was his not giving a damn and how he would go to any length to defeat the enemy, which was Bane and Nightfall, that is. And he was just cracking heads, and he was, long story short, a lot more violent than Batman ever could have been. Because, Batman holds back. Batman has some restraint. Whereas Jean Paul Valley just was straight. He was more brutal than Jason Todd. So he's wearing this suit after Batman's out of commission. Because, Batman got his back broken by the late, great Bane. And then after Batman recuperates, he's like, hey, I'm back. And Jean Paul Valley's like, nah, man, I got this. I'm Batman now. Because he already whooped Nightwing. And then Bruce is like, nah, man, you need to take that suit off. You need to step aside. Anyway, long story short, he gets into it with the Batman we know and love, Bruce Wayne. And it was a battle over who could take the mantle back. And obviously, Bruce has to win because that's just how it has to be. But he was such a threat, not only to Batman and Bane, but he was like a threat to himself. He was a threat to the people around him. I mean, he was just a terrifying, horrible, dark, crazy Batman. And I have to stress the word crazy because he was so insane. He had like voices in his head and stuff. He was doing like these cult like rituals in the Batcave and stuff. Like the dude was crazy, man. And I love that because, Bruce Wayne, he's already kind of crazy from the traumatizing from when his parents were killed in front of him as a kid. But like Jean Paul Valley, he took quote unquote trauma and all that to a different level. Anyway, I can talk about that for a while. Check out Red Hood. So this Red Hood is from the game Arkham Knights. A game I never played, but maybe I will someday. Who knows? But look at this guy. The brown armor and the torso, that's cool. It's not bad. I like it because it's not all black and red. You do have some brown in there and some gray. Very nice. I just like the armory. It kind of looks like Gotham Knight. Or no, not Gotham Knight. It looks like the Arkham Knight. Excuse me. We got a glare going. Okay, get that glare out of there. There's is Gotham Knights. In the game, I believe it's him, Batgirl, Nightwing, and Red Robin. Because I think Damian Wayne is too young. Damian probably wouldn't mess with them anyway. Alright. So in that story, it's a continuation of not the Dark Knight Returns. It's a continuation of Arkham Knight. After, I don't want to give it away, that game came out 10 years ago. Batman, let's just say, is missing, and these four have to step up and defend Gotham. That's what it's about. I heard mixed reviews about it from people, not from actual reviews and critics. This is what people tell me personally. I like the bat in this man's chest. I love the silver plating in the torso area. This one, hands down, is just, out of all the figures they had there, I told the guy, I was like, hey, this I need to have, all right? This I need. And this was the only one. So they had different Red Hoods. They had different Batmen. They had different Supermen. They had the Batman Beyond Ink, which I already have. They had the Flash, the yellow one. Different variants of him. They had Parallax. They had Catwoman from Nightfall. They had, oh my gosh. And I remember saying like multiple times, oh my gosh. And I was kind of like right by the counter when I'm looking through this stuff. There's like customers trying to check out, and I'm like, pardon me. I said, don't mind me, I told somebody. Just pretend I'm not even here. They're like, oh, you're fine. Well, then customers, they start talking to me about, what you got there, buddy? This one guy was like, man, if I was rich, I'd be buying some of those too. I was like, hey, you gotta get at least one of them, man. You gotta get one. He was just laughing. He was there for something else. But, man, let me show you these four with the rest of the bunch, shall we? Alright. I tried to make 2 rows. Condense them a little bit. Just so you can get a full scope. This is just beautiful. You gotta have Azrael Batman. There's like a glare right there. Let me turn this flash off. you gotta have Azrael Batman front and center. As far as the Eradicator goes, let me say this. There's like 3 variants of him, too. I had to put him right above Steel, Reign of the Superman, right? But I really like this version. For one, you got the gold sunglasses. I remember his story was a little different. He was I think he was some type of clone, but his powers were a little different. They were weird. Like, he still absorbed sunlight, but he absorbed it in a different way. So that's why he needed the sunglasses, because he absorbed like too much sun. So that's why he had like these ray beams around his hands and stuff, because he just had like too much energy going on. Also, he was a much more violent Superman than Clark Kent Superman. Now, he wasn't as badass as Cyborg Superman, because Cyborg Superman beat his you-know-what. But he was a good substitute character. Because I remember after Superman was dead, people were calling. They were all at one point called the Man of Steel. But none of them really wanted that mantle. They just kind of wanted to help out in their own way. So I really like the Eradicator. I like Steel. Should I show off the whole? Well, yeah, let's do it. Thomas Wayne, Earth 2, Batman Beyond Inc. They had this also where I went. The Eradicator, Jean Paul Valley, Azrael from White Knight, Azrael with the Batman suit. They also had this, which I already had this. You've seen it. Batman from Arkham Knight. Now, this White Knight Batman, they also had this in the red version. Red hood. Let me come over a little bit. Nightwing. I put these two side by side because they're from the same video game. The animated series, Batman, Tim Drake, Robin, and they also had a Damian Wayne. I said, maybe I'll come back for, was it Damian? Actually, I think it was Jason Todd. Or no, Tim Drake, I'm sorry. There's just so many of them, man. It's hard to believe. I showed him off not too long ago. The Batman-Superman fusion. I don't know what's going on with that light right there. I got the Superman the Animated Series, both variants. The black suit. Man of Steel. I call this Batman Noel, but it's not. It's called Batman 1 million. And this one's just called Batman. The one with no mouth showing. They're both like that. So yeah. I might just keep this going. I might just go up. It's only uphill from here, people. But man, you should have. I thought about even taking pictures of all the stuff that this guy had. A lot. But let me say this. I know we're almost 20 minutes in. I thank God for Todd McFarlane. Like, this dude is just going crazy right now. This dude is just pushing stuff out like it's nothing. Like it's easy to him. I mean, I showed you my Marvel collection not too long ago. These guys. This is all Todd McFarlane. I mean, what? This dude is just insane. He's killing it. As far as my favorite goes, it's gotta be Jean Paul Valley Batman. They had different Jokers. They had Shazam. I think I saw a Black Adam. They had so many damn characters, man. I was blown away while I was there looking at them, and I was blown away when I was having a conversation with the people about them. And I'm still blown away showing you guys this stuff. And if they have a gold label like that, they're more expensive. But they got like platinum editions too. Alright, it's been 21 minutes. I'm gonna let you guys get out of here and go on about your day. I just wanted to show you what was going on in the streets. Oh, also, there's a QuadCon coming up. QuadCon is on tour in Missouri and Illinois and different places in the Midwest. So I will keep you posted on that for sure. Until then, I'll talk to you before then, but I'll talk to you later. All right. Peace.